Alrighty, and I believe we are live. Good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is for you folks out there. It is Sunday, the last day of May of 2026. We're doing something a little different today. This is kind of a request I've had from some folks. They said we'd love to see some kit bashing on stream. And at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to do that, because the problem with kit bashing on stream is most of my kit bash stuff is, in boxes that isn't really accessible, and it's hard to be interesting on stream. But what I figured I could do, though, is maybe work with something that I've already started kit bashing and improve it. And I've got a couple things here that fit that bill. I'm a Bill, I'm just a Bill, and I'm standing here on Capitol Hill. What is this hand from? Who knows? Well, it's resin, whatever it is. Oh, that's a Turnip 28 hand, almost certainly. Put it over here. All right. Okay, so let me get out said things that we were working on. Had to, with the nice weather being nice, which it is, and I love that, but it does mean I do more work outside in the mornings, and sometimes I forget about what time it is before I get back here. So, need to kind of clean off my desk a bit. Burgundy, that's okay. I'll tell you what, I'll get the models out so that at least you guys can see them, so that you're not just staring at dead space. Hello, Duke Moosey. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's time for Josh to paint anime. I'm not even painting today, let alone anime. Technically Vans are kind of anime, but I'm... Oh, because it's a Felinid, right, because cat person. King of the Sea Monkeys, good morning. Hello, hello, for where you are. All right, so what I've got today is... These were originally kit bashed for a game called... I should say kit bashed built, or kit bashed, for a game called Space Station Zero, one of my favorite miniatures games. It's a miniatures agnostic game about being in a space station. And the specific one we're talking about here is this lady. I've got this. She's kind of a. Let me zoom in for you. Boop, boop. We're going to be zoomed out here for most of it, and which you'll see one moment. It's not going to capture her well because she's all black on black. But we've got this gal. This is my Felinid Rogue Trader. Now I did not come up with this concept. This concept was, I saw it on Twitter back in the day, and I can't find out. It's a person who does, like, kind of cool mock-ups for lots of different games. It's real art. It's digital art, not AI crap. Predates AI crap. And I can't remember what their name is. I do know they were also the one who did the incredibly thick Lictor, or the Fictor, as it were. I never got around to painting her because I beat the Space Station Zero campaign before I painted her, and then... I won't spoil it, but the Space Station Zero campaign does not end in a way that makes me want to replay it, really, unfortunately. It's a good game. It's a great ending, but it's kind of, okay. It's a tad depressing, honestly. So, I never got around to playing it again. But, what I want to do is I want to convert her for either, technically, the idea was she's kind of a Felinid Rogue Trader, but I want to make her more playable in Necromunda. Which means I need to do two things. I want to replace the pistol, and I want to replace the axe here. Although I could just leave it as a power axe. Now, this is the head of your brain's cat, with extra fur, green stuffed around it to make it hide the seam. Green's tail. That is, of course, a extra plasma pistol. And then the rest of it is just that one vampire lady. That one... axe-wielding maniac vampire lady, whose name I cannot remember, but it really doesn't matter. Matter. But first, I need to finish cleaning off my desk. So, what I need to think of today is how do I say this? I want to think of what weapons I put on her, and how they end up looking. It's also kind of nice to reset my paint desk. I'm not done with Vansar. But I gotta think on that one. Now, if you didn't see the news, 11th edition 40k was just officially, release date was announced. It's going up for pre-order next week. So next Saturday, the 6th of June. Pour one out for the folks over at Snarling Badger. Maybe one of these days they'll manage to release a game not the same day that the new edition of 40k comes out. But it is not this day. Let's see, Advanced Fleshtone, you go over here. Orange Oxide, you go up here. What else did I put up here? It's an Orange Brown. Orange Brown can go over here. There you go. The problem with having an organizational system is that then you have to follow it or it all falls apart. That's okay. Alright. Slate Gray. I need to keep Slate Gray because that is my that's my Vansar color. And a very good one. Alright, let me go put all these follow me, microphone. Whee! Okay. I need to figure out something better for my microphone. I was listening to the last, because I always check the previous recording of the streams to see how it is, and my voice was cracky and poppy, left, right, and center, wasn't it? I was really way too loud compared to poor Cody and Kevin. So I need to dial mine in a bit. You guys were here for right now. Harvest Black. Okay, now there we go. Now are my Agrax. Okay, go wrong with Agrax. You can. Agrax Earthy Shade. Find some techie Greedleys to bring in more Necromunda. Yep, that's the kind of thing. Yeah, because right now she is very nothing really techie about her. Now, you want techie Greedleys? I've got this little robot here. Stay zoomed in. Come on. Or stay on focus. This is a Necron with all of the skeleton bits filed off. Gave him some kind of gun, and he's got a flashlight for a head. Basically, if the Pixar robot was angry and armed. This one, this is no kitbashing. This is just one of the assassins from Horus Heresy. With some of the extra tentacles removed. But, I just like that model so much, and that's a great example of miniatures agnostic games, because you can just use models that you would otherwise never use. Same token, this is just a Goliath Judy, right? There's nothing really kit-bashed about her at all. But I don't ever play with these guys in Necromunda, because I don't think the Goliath prospects are very good, especially not with the Stormwelder. This is an actual kit-bash. That is a Breacher, but with a lizard tail and a lizard head from a Wargames Atlantic kit. And then this one is the one I'm least happy with. It's obviously a Space Marine, but turned into a lizard man with a gun. Just a really big iron. Big iron, big iron. The ranger came upon him, had a big iron on his hip. It's a terrible Marty Robbins impression. Alright, so this is the problem with this, is I can put her here, but you're just going to hear a lot of clanking and jostling as I go through my bits boxes looking for some sci-fi stuff. Let me see. Here we go. Here's my Necromunda bits box. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the whole dang thing. There we go. Doo-doo! Alright, so first things first, we're looking for a pistol. And we're looking for a gun. Or a melee weapon. That's a hand flamer. Could do a hand flamer. I don't like hand flamers on... I mean, this is obviously going to be my hunt leader. So, now, you can, of course... I mean, we play WYSIWYG intent. Which is, we try to not have things that are, clearly not the thing that it isn't. I wouldn't put a hand flamer on there and say it's a plasma. But if I gave this gal a stub pistol, but painted it correctly or something like that, it could be something else besides a stub pistol. For example, this is clearly just an auto pistol, so I'm not going to do that. I've been tempted to buy that assassin into a death mage. That's a great... Yeah, I'm going to paint her... She's going to make her way into my Venator's gang as well. I don't know as what. I'll solve that problem later, but... I'm trying not to... Back of my head! Whee! Okay, anyway, trying not to do that. You'll see the freakish 3 white hairs I've got in the back of my head, and it'll be so embarrassing. Not really embarrassed by it, but it does look weird. You'd be like, why is the lighting in there so harsh? That's a flamer. Again, what? Now the problem is that all the pistols I have from Necromunda stuff are guns that I haven't used. Probably for a reason, right? Like, you know, got lots of melta or flamers because I don't really use flamers much. I've never much cared for them for their cost. I always just go for a web gun if I'm going to go for something like that. Now I'm going to... Let me see, the other thing is this needs to be a left-handed gun, because that is in her left hand. So whatever I do needs to be in her left hand. So like this right-handed shotgun, not going to do it, unless I want to say she's got 2 right hands, which would be a little strange. However, I found a left-handed pistol gun, so we're going to take that and set it aside, because, I mean, left-handed pistol gun? Plasma gun, Josh. Left-handed plasma gun. Now, it is possible to convert a plasma gun or a left-hand gun to a right-hand gun, but it's a massive pain in the derriere. So, I'm going to see if I can not do that. All right. But, well, I guess I should say it's a pain in the derriere. It's really not. It depends entirely on... here's another left-hand plasma gun. I'm going to grab that in case I mess this one up. It depends on the gun you're trying to convert. Now, I should also probably try and find an Escher gun, because these Orlok hands are way bigger than her hands. Really, truly leaning into heroic scale there, huh? I wonder, I might be barking up the wrong tree with Orlok, but... if a gun is, you know, if the grip is somewhat separate from the rest of the pistol, and like you can cut it off, then it's pretty easy to convert one pistol into another pistol, you know, on the same hand. It's really not hard. I promise this entire episode won't just be me digging through boxes, because that's really not exciting. However, I do need to also look for melee weapons while I'm here, because... Now, I could just make it the power axe, but I really want to make something techy that ties it into Necromunda. So even if it's a power axe, I need to try and find some kind of tech-based counterweight to put on there. Hammer, that'd be funny. Put that box into a little box, and then I'll smash it with a hammer. Here's Van Sar stuff. Van Sar stuff is probably more scale-wise, probably a little more suited for purpose. Although it appears I used up basically every... I only had the one Van Sar kit, so I don't have this massive backlog of Van Sar in the same way that I do Orlok. Orlok bolt gun in the third box, next row down. Yep, bolt gun is an option, but it is a one-hand. Now, she could be one-handing a bolt gun. There's nothing that says you can't. Yes, Escher, I have not gotten to my Escher sprue yet, but I'm actually kind of thinking that I'm going to end up... The Escher sprue is going to be ending up... Blah, 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 blah. The Escher sprue is going to end up being where I live here, because there's more stuff. Well, that being said, this is a little grenade launcher. Just a 2. It's right-handed, but I'm going to set that aside. This is another one of those very iterative processes where it's just kind of like figuring out, well, you know, what's everything that might work? And then once you've got everything that might work in front of you, you pare it down into something that does work. Man, I do not have a lot of left-handed pistols in here. Here's a Van Sar one, though. It's very tech-y. Right hand, right hand, right hand. Alright, I think that's good for this box. That's just my Orlok box, apparently. Thought it was more than that. But it's not. This one is... What's in here? Is this my guard box? I think it is. Yes. Well, has to be seen by the giant Ogrins. Now, I don't think I'm going to find anything that the Ogrins have that would fit on here. I'm actually not really thinking much in the way of guard is what I'm going to be looking for either. Although, say this is a great example. That's a hand with a bolt gun on it, right? Perfect left hand. Even if I don't end up using the bolt pistol part, I could chop it at the front and use the hand. I could chop it anywhere and use the hand. So, that is still handy. Or you have things like this, where it's the bolt gun being held in the entire right arm. This is an old one. That doesn't really fit with the pose, though, so I'm not going to have that. The Power Fist. Is it a right-handed? Ah, that's a left-handed Power Fist. I need a right-handed Power Fist. Do I have any right-handed guard Power Fists? I don't think I do. Now, guard stuff I've got no shortage of. I've got guard stuff coming out my ears. Because I've got everything from the new Cadians to the old Cadians to that old Cadian, to the Cadian upgrade sprue that they released in between those old Cadians and these new ones. That was kind of, you know, trying to bridge the gap to make them something a little more, like, not abhorrently terrible. And then they just released the new Cadians a day later. Anyway, not a day later. It's like a year later, but still. I'm not bitter, you are. Narrator's note, I'm bitter. And then my melee weapon needs to be right-handed. So, no left-handed chainswords for me. And nothing wrong with a good old chainsword either. Like, the chainsword says 40k, right? It's a very 40k iconic kind of thing. So if I could find a right-handed chainsword... That is not a right-handed chainsword. Yeah, there's a gas can. It's another left-handed chainsword. Those are all heads and such. I don't need those. Here's another left-handed chainsword. Ah, that's the problem with the guard. Everyone wields their melee in their left hands and their pistols in their right. However, good old-fashioned power sword. We'll take that out and put it aside. Because it could be handy. Oh man, those are old. Yeah, you know, I don't think I'm going to find anything that's the right scale in the Ogren kit, so I'm going to kind of not really bother looking through those. Wow, her hand is the size of her entire rest of her. Alright, so that's the guard one. I need a new box here. Forget where I put my Escher sprues. I can find them. This is the Marine sprue, and I'm not really going to look much through the Marine... Not through. The Marine box here, because this is all, like... These are all ginormous, right? These are all way too big for her. Like, yeah, that's a right-handed chainsword, but that thing is, like... Yeah. Excuse me. Apologies, I thought I was sick, but I think I might just have allergies. And that is a really cool chainsword, but it's just so flippin' big. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Put that away. Yeah. What are you? Oh, this is one of those random crap boxes. There's everything in here from a lot of non-GW kits, which could be handy. For example, you've got this kind of chainsword saber here. A little small. I think those are from the Le Grognard kit from Wargames Atlantic. Thousand Suns. I'm not going to find anything I want with Thousand Suns. I'm not going for a Chaos using Inquisitor here. What about the Eldar? These incredibly old, busted up Eldar that somebody sold me. And they were a little less than honest about the condition of them, and I was too socially awkward at the time to call them out on it. Yeah, oh well. Some old Deathcore Krieg resin stuff. This is a chainsword. Could always put a chainsword on her. But man, this is old Forge World resin, not even the stuff you'll like using, so... Well, apparently I don't have any, I mean, is that a... Does that have a hand on it? No, it's a splinter pistol, but it doesn't have a hand on it. That can be fixed, though. I mean, because a splinter pistol is... there are no splinter pistols in Necromunda, currently. But a splinter pistol is an exotic Xenos item that you do often, or not often, sometimes see Inquisitors using, right? So, I could see that. Alright, oops. This flamer and bolt pistol fell out of the Orlock kit. Yeah, come on. There's one lesson to be gained from this. I do think that keeping your Kitbash stuff in semi-organized does make it a lot easier. So, for example, right now, I can look into this box crate and see that it's Stormcast and... oh god, those were the Sky Dwarves. Crap, sorry. Caradron Overlords. This box is another rando box full of rando things. I got this really cool wolf model I never painted. Look at that. Gonna put her back in the box and continue to not paint her, apparently. Oh, I've got two of them. I've got Gotrik's base. Hey, there's some Enforcer bits in here. Now those... Hey, I'm going to rescue these from here and put them in that other one. Ooh, Admech. Ooh, you know... Ooh, Skitarii. There we go. So Skitarii would be a fascinating choice of place to find bits and cool guns. Plus, it's relevant with Skitarii coming to Darktide. Very looking forward to that. I love I love Skitarii thematically, but they are a pain in the butt to paint, and they were one of the first Warhammer kits I ever got. I'm not going to say they turned me off of Warhammer completely, but they didn't help. Alright. I just don't remember where I put my Escher kit. Or my Escher bits. However, I do have a box of Escher bits over there that is still on sprue. So, alright. Here's a big iron. Here's a pistol and a holster. Also fantastic for world building. Left hand and right hand. Oh yeah, wait. I just realized the problem with the Enforcer bits here is that Enforcers kind of don't have a lot of weapon variety, do they? Whoops. Well, you know. Hey, you know what? I got the holsters and the pistols on them, so that alone was probably worth the price of admission. Now here is my Gene Stealer. Wraithguard, who... You ever axe a bigger axe? Now, the axe, no, but a big old sword that could play as a power sword or a force sword. And it's too big, and if it's too big, it ends up looking very, well, I mean, as Duke Moosey said at the beginning of the show, anime. Which is not what I'm going for. So, if that's what you're going for, fantabulous. These are... What even the heck are you? Are you... Oh, this is OBR stuff. Oh, right. Oh, gosh, yeah, I'm not even... Bone Reapers in my... Rogue Trader. It's more likely than you think. That's more fantasy stuff. Tau. Could always have her having stolen a Tau Pulse Blaster. Unfortunately, the problem with that is I just don't like the way the Tau guns look. I think they're boring. Now, Drukhari weapons, on the other hand. Or, sorry, these aren't even Drukhari weapons. These are Dark Elf weapons from Fantasy. That could be cooking. You can see I'm doing the Skitarii last because I think I'm going to find something I like in there. Yep, alright. So, let's just honestly get all these out and go through them in a big pile, because... Let's get the Enforcer stuff set off to the side. This is one of my first bits boxes, and I don't... nowadays, I much prefer the ones that have little removable cells, so you can just pull out a cell and go through it. It's way better and easier than trying to dig through like this. Highly recommend the cell ones. Of course, they're more expensive, so... I tried 3D printing a bunch, and they work really well, but... They don't close well, so I need to drill in on a latch or something. Anything in here that I want to steal? Nope. Okay. Alright, so... I think it's also be a little more interesting to watch than the way I was doing it. My bits kit won't close. Too much crap. There we go. Okay. Excuse me, sorry. I'm going to blow my nose here because I'm still sick. All right, so. There we go. Okay, let's see what we've got. So, just a big old Skitari, or a Rustalker Sicarian, sorry. Hand's a little big, but that can be fixed. That's a fun one. Looks very sci-fi. That's a left-handed weapon. That's not technically a right-handed weapon because there's no hand, but you could just say she just has a mechanical hand. I don't really want to go mechanical like that, the level of Rustalker mechanical hands. That's a little less interesting to me. However, the blades could be used, so let's set that aside. Skitari backpack, not a bad way to try and tie her into the universe. That's a transuranic blade. Something just fell off my desk. What the hell was that? Whatever. You can tell these were some of the first kits I ever got because they're in the red that they came in that original Kill Team box, huh? Got these things big and small. Servo Skull, which is, an upgrade you can get, so that is handy. A loose rifle on her back would be good, because that would allow you to... I say you, like you guys are doing it. Maybe you are doing this home, I don't know. That would allow me to equip her with another weapon. What is this? Oh, that's one of those, it's the stubber, heavy stubber. Or not the heavy stubber, the stub carbine. Anyway, having a rifle on the back would allow me to equip her with a rifle, which I do like doing with my leaders. When I have the money, I like equipping them with something. I'm going to steal some of the arms as well, because they are a good source of mechanical bits. So, like right here. It's a good old mechanical bit I can maybe use. What is that? Pistol. I think that's a Volkite pistol. It's left-handed, or it's right-handed instead of left, but I could fix that. Do I like that more than my existing options? No, I don't. Now, this arc pistol, on the other hand, I don't think there is an arc pistol in Necromunda, right? No, there's an arc rifle. So, we'll keep that. Because it's, it's exotic and shows weirdness. Another arm. Another spindly little arm. And a gun. Whatever this thing is could go on her back. Another arm. I mean, she could just be pointing, I guess. Kind of boring, but might need that. That arm could come in handy anyway. Okay, so got something I need from here. Okay, where to put the box? There you are. All right. I'm still going to do a cursory examination, at least, through the other stuff I have, just because, doesn't feel right to call it quits early. Also, I do want to take a look at that Escher box I've got, because those hands fit her proportions very well. Alright, back onto the table you go. Okay. Empty. Nope. What are you full of? Yeah, so I 3D printed these boxes. I'll zoom out so you can see it. Come on. Come on. I hate this camera. There you go. I printed these. These are 3D print files. I don't know where that went. The problem is that I have to find something that locks these, right? They work, but they don't close. They're supposed to be friction latching. It doesn't really work. So I was using these for a while as my bits boxes, but they just weren't cutting the mustard. Oh, hey, look like... But the nice thing is like, look, I just found more Imperial Guard stuff, and I can now take these out. Like I just found a scabbard. Isn't that cool? Huh? Look at that. Oh, these are the trench raiders. These are the Scion, or no, these aren't even the Scions. These are the, yeah, those are the Scions. So these are my Scions box, apparently. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, you can just take these out and dump. I really do like these big shotguns, the revolving shotguns. Terrible idea, by the way, because the problem with the revolver, let me show you the problem with the revolver rifle, or any kind of revolving rifle is, when a revolver fires, this gas part here isn't sealed, so hot gas comes out the front. If your hand is there, guess what's going to happen? It's going to burn your hand. And it sucks. So, generally, that's why you don't actually find revolving rifles. That's why revolver rifles did not actually take historical significance, because you're like, oh, we had revolving rifles for the long time. Why didn't those ever, or what, revolvers for a long time, why didn't those ever translate into revolving rifles to be used in the battlefield instead of bolt action? And the answer, among many others, is that it's really hard to make a revolving rifle that doesn't burn your hand every time you shoot it. Good evening. Hello, Spudgy. We are kitbashing this gal here. I should keep her on camera. She's a cat. She's a cat with a gap. I'm not really thinking I'm going to find anything in here, because this is already just the Khazar... Yeah, this is Scion. Looks like I put Scions and Khazarkin in two different boxes. Which would probably upset both of those groups of people if they were real, not tiny plastic miniatures. But anyway. No. Oops, I should get my phone closer where I can actually see it. There we go. Hey, stand for this. No suspect Temu products today. No Fluffy Roaster 5000. Thank God. One day I should intend to make a Catville commissar just to incent the people powerful. Hey, Felinids are canon, and you don't know how they look. Like, yeah. Alright, are there any... Is this more Khazarkin? I think this is just more... No, this is more Cadian. Are there any right-handed chainswords? Because I'm kind of looking for a right-handed melee weapon at this point. I think I've got my gun figured out. Or I've got a bunch of different options for guns, but... Corpse... Pronouns are corpse/starch. That sounds like some great graffiti. Put on some Zone Mortalis. Okay. I just need to dump these back into their container. Where did I put the black one? There it is. Oh, nope. That's not the right one. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Have that in there. Just didn't want to put it on someone else's, you know? Oh, yeah. I mean, you put it on your own. As with any good graffiti. That's just a box of heads, and that's a box of nothing. That's a bunch of minis, and this last one is nothing important. All right, I'm gonna get that Escher box. I'm gonna get that Escher box. I'll be right back. Okay, you know, I figured out why I have no Escher bits anywhere. I didn't just have one Escher box. It looks like my original Escher, I didn't cut off any of these and put them in bits, even my upgrades. So, whoops. Same thing with my outcasts. Whoops. So, I guess let's open... Because I've built enough Escher, I don't need to worry about keeping these. I mean, you know, stuff can change. What have we got in here? Got a plasma gun. Double-barrel shotgun, which I do always love. I'm looking for left-handed pistols. Needle rifle. Hey, there's a right-handed chainsword. Snip. Snip. There we go. Put you off to the side. We'll clean it all up later. I bet that's the needle pistol I originally took from her. I don't know why I didn't clean these off and clip them off. They're taking up more space than they should be. I'll have to do that later off camera, because watching me clip sprues for a while is probably not... It's probably less entertaining than this is already in danger of being. But I figured, you know, it's a beautiful day outside. Probably not going to have a ton of people around anyway. Alright, so, here's my Death Maidens, and, oh, okay. I am now realizing that when I say I built Escher, what I mean is I built Escher normal gang, but looks like you want to say pristine. I've clipped off like 2 things from all of these. Now I kind of don't want to mess with these. I'll do a good look through and see if there's anything I absolutely must have. Bits clipping ASMR win. Hello, Luca. If you're on the Discord, you should check out the thing Luca just posted, which was fantastic, amazing looking. If you're not on the Discord, you could be. Linked below. It is free. Yeah, you know, I'm not actually seeing anything here, because it's all bows and needle pistols. Looks like there's not a lot in the base kit for, Death Maidens. Huh. Alright, well, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Note to self, build Escher. Or build the Wild Runner and Death Maiden's kit. Although, yeah, maybe not the Wild Runner kits, if you know what I mean, because those Wild Runners are just very not good. They were from that first round of prospects. It took them until Orlok and Vansar to make prospects that didn't suck. Alright, now Escher on the other hand. Got a sword. I'm going to clip this out because it's an outstretched Escher arm that would match her left arm, which is good, because I might need that. Combi Bolter Needler, which you should never get or never use, because, like, why? Why would you do that? To yourself or your friends. I don't know why I'm looking at this sprue, too. It's identical to the other one. Because that's what they did back then. The Victorian Deloc ladies. Yes, that's them. Yeah, they're... It made me, because of the Rogue Trader here, I bought Yvrain. Now, I bought it off of eBay for cheap, but I do have a Yvrain that I'm not using. And I should convert Yvrain into a Underhive Noble, right? Like, that sounds like something that could be easily done. Not easily done, but something that could be done. Because, like, you know, the only thing I took from this kit was the cat's head and the cat's... So, there we go. Got your vein here. In a box with some Gene Stealers that are old now. Nobody wants them. But, like, you know, that long cloak. Look at this. This entire thing is your vein. I should be able to convert that into a Underhive Noble. Pretty easily. I think I shall do that one of these days. But not today. Today we got a cat to work on. Now, I have built probably 6 of these sets. Jalak Night Witches thing. I mean, I think your Night Witches thing will end up being a lot different than the Escher, or than the Victorian Nobles, because, like, yeah, they're both, like, femme, you know, inspired, but, the Night Witches will end up being I think something entirely different than the... Now, you do need to, and they do make one, not Games Workshop, but you should also, as part of that project, kitbash the biplane they flew. Because they flew biplanes. Did the Night Witches. Alright, now I've built... Anyway, I need to finish my thoughts. I have built so many of these flippin' Hive Scum kits at this point, because I just love to Hive Scum, that I almost don't need to look at these to know what's on them. And unfortunately, I remember that there is not much in the way of right-handed weapons. They're all left-handed. Which is fine, and I can convert that. Like, I could convert this chain sword, which is normally right-handed, to left-handed to be right-handed. If I didn't just want to use the freaky-looking Escher chain sword, which I kind of would rather just do that. So, back in the box you go. I have an STL for a Grimdark biplane from, like, what is it, Station Forge? One of those companies that just makes, you know, totally not Krieg or totally not Steel Legion. They made a biplane, and I actually have not just the STL for it, but I have the full resin kit for it. Somewhere. Didn't build it. It's completely unusable in game, because there's nothing that it matches, and even if it wasn't unusable in game then, it certainly will be now. Yeah, crappy plane spot. Yep, they just bothered people until... But hey, they worked! Coasted in over the night, and, Alright. Do I have anything else I want to look into? I don't think so. That's most of my current bits, at least that are in any way or shape or form accessible. Biplane is a flying vehicle. Yeah, it's a skimmer. It's a biplane that can't get off the ground. So it just kind of like... Actually, that sounds really fun. I think you should do that. Have a biplane, but it can't get off the ground, so it's got wheels or it's a skimmer. You can also lean into the Baba Yaga Russian folklore thing. Well, that is way mess. Alright, so... Since you guys are here, you get to help me decide. Which pistol... Zoom in so you guys can see it. There we go. Which pistol do I want to put on her? Alright, those are our... We have 6 options of pistols. Well, 7 options, I guess. Eh, 8. We'll go with an even 8. Which pistol do I want to put on her? We've got the arc pistol, which does not have rules in Necromunda. Are we replacing her currently needle? Yes, yeah. The Needler pistol I put on for Space Station Zero, but I don't particularly love it, and because I'm going to convert her to be used for Necromunda, I do not want her to have a pistol that is just a pistol that I don't want her to have, because I do not like the Needle pistol. So we've got the arc pistol, which does not have rules, so we can kind of make it whatever we want when it gets to game. We've got the Enforcer stub pistol, which, yes, stub pistols have rules, but you can always just say it's something different. We've got the... Oh god, that's the Flechette pistol from Art Mechanicus, which does not have rules. We have a good old plasma pistol. You could just put a plasma pistol. We've got this thing, which is technically an auto pistol from Krieg, but again. We've got a good old bolt pistol. We've got the stub carbine. Again, no rules, just right. And I've got a shuriken pistol that I could put on here. So. Oops. Sorry, I dropped the... what did I drop? Dropped a hand. The stub pistol or the flechette? Yeah, I'm gonna admit. Those were both, because the flechette is big and intimidating and terrifying. It really leans into the cat with a gat. The stub pistol is just a classic. The stub carbine... I'm going Venator in this case because Rogue Traders are not in the game, so it's a Venator. I want her to fit in to Necromunda. I think the stub carbine's too big for her because that doesn't fit her body type, so we're going to throw that out. Shuriken pistol is... If it's Venator, Venators don't have access to Shuriken pistols. Bolt pistol, I'm going to keep it around because I might need that thing. I think the flechette too big, though. Maybe. It might be. Certainly there would be an issue with the hand, because that hand is too big, right? Yeah, the flechette pistol is comically large. Well, this is actually pretty easy to fix. First off, like, that needle pistol never did, you know, stay on, so I think it broke 3 or 4 times. So let's smooth that out a little bit. Obviously, we need to give her an arm there. Which, what we could do there is, where'd it go? Oh, where'd I put it? Yeah, first off, I need to. So in Pride and Joy, which does fit the, yeah. I'm sure Flechette Pistol had rules. Is it the lock only? Yes. Yes, the Flechette Pistol did have rules. But not this Flechette Pistol. Also, this is just called the Flechette Pistol. There's nothing about this that says Flechette Pistol, right? Because it's from the, Scatar, or the, not Scatari, Sicarian kit. Sorry, I'm trying to find the arm that I have ready for this. Alright. So if we... It's a gun nerd hyperfixation rant, and that's why it's... Yeah. Absolutely. This Venator... I mean, all Venators, I think, are people who, like, absolutely have very strong opinions on... their guns, you know? So, now I would need to do some, you know, fitting and filing for this. But we're just gonna very, very loosely blue tack some stuff together to see if it fits. Because you just put it there, that's too short. So, but if I put on this little mechanical bit here, no, that hand is way too big. Just looking at it like this. So, that becomes so comically oversized. I like that idea. Let me see if I can make it work by putting a smaller hand grip on it. Which will take some doing. Oh, yeah, that's not going to want to go. Where's my... There you are. Hobby saw. Can you do a handstand with a pistol? Yeah, that's what I am. There we are, finally streamed. No. I think I'm ensnaring new people into Necromunda using the Wacky Racers rules. Yeah, I agree. It's a good entry point. And it's... Someone else pointed out... What I'm doing is very stupid now, right now, by the way. Sawing downward towards my own fingers. But I'm kind of hoping that the plastic catches it. Problems that vehicles had that made them unfun, and that this fixes. My computer is blooping at me constantly. I do not know why or care right now. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna... Saw off the magazine. And I just set that across the room, so I'm not getting that back. That's a fine, we'll do. I got multiples of these. We're just gonna completely destroy that. There we go. So now we've got what I would call the base, or the actual profile, and now let's take a smaller hand. So I've got, what have I got here? Yeah, I should go with those Escher needle pistols. Ah, here we go. There we go. So if I put that here. Now, it does beg the question, why does this gun have both a rotary drum magazine and also a pistol grip magazine? Because generally one only needs one or the other. I mean, yeah, it's you know, the answer is sci-fi tech or whatever, like, right? Like, it's... But now the problem with any grip that... Let's stick this together and see how it looks. So for that, I need to file some things to make them actually flush. The problem is the back end of the gun comes up. And, you know, if this doesn't work, that's fine. We're trying it. If it works, fantabulous. And if it doesn't, oh, flippin' well. I'm out one arm that I clearly had not used for that kit anyway. Okay, so. But I don't think the stub pistol is quite... Yeah, any grip that fits her hand is too darn small to fit the pistol magazine. And that means... And I don't know if the stub carbine is worth it without the pistol magazine, right? Like, I think that without that pistol magazine, it loses way too much of its identity. We're going to try it. So let's get our plastic glue and put that there, and then we'll... We really want that to stick, so I'm going to add some more in there. Oop. That's what you get for not putting it on both sides, Josh. I know that for speed I could use plastic glue or super glue, but I do not like it. Okay, well, we're going to have to leave that to dry for a bit. I'm going to leave these options over here. I think I'll take out the plasma gun one. Let's look at her right hand, which is attaching something. Hell yeah, Felinid Road Trader. Hello, Sugar Candy Ventures. Road Trader / Venator for Necromunda. She will wear many hats. Alright, so I feel like I already know the answer to this one, which is I need to give her some kind of blade, right? Because, I mean, I could give her a hammer. The hammer is funny. The Thunder Hammer in Necromunda is hilarious. But I feel like the thing that's going to fit the best is just this, is like Occam's razor. this chainsword right here. So here's my melee weapon options. We've got the chainsword. This is an Escher chainsword. I think it matches her aesthetic perfectly. We've got this is just a a power sword, either a more curvy one or a more Imperium power sword. We've got the Thunder Hammer, or a Power Hammer, I guess, but if I'm going to put it on there, it's going to be a Thunder Hammer. I mean, this would just be a generic blade of some kind. You could say it's almost anything. And then the Taser Goad, again, doesn't really have rules in Necromunda, but we can say it's anything. So I'm, aesthetics are what I'm more worried about than rules, because you can excuse almost anything with the right rules. I'm going to blow my nose real quick. Be right back. I just realized that my OBS camera stopped working again. There we go. Yeah, must be the heat. Anyway, let me get these all on camera where you can actually see them. There we go. So, if anybody has any strong thoughts or opinions, speak. But otherwise, I'm thinking that this chainsword right here is the thing that's going to tie her most into Necromunda and 40k and look cool and match her aesthetic and all that stuff. You guys ruminate on it. I'm going to go get a soda. You say Xenos, Spudgy, but that's actually an Escher chainsword. That's an Escher chainsword, like, oddly. Incoming soda pop. I don't even know if that showed up on camera. Oh, the blade below it? Yeah, that would look like a captured blade, right? Like a Xenos blade. My screen was scrolled down, yeah. Well, also my screen was frozen, so I don't think it was showing everything. Because you are a potato. On a potato, apparently. Potatoception. Spudception. All the cool Nephilids have shock whips. I see of beautiful girls. Just a stormtroopers, each one a gem. Leather whips on their hips, it's risque, dare I say, S&M! No, I'm not giving her a whip. I hate whips in 40k, or in Necromunda. I draw the line. What drink did I get? Mountain Dew. It's just, or American Dew, or whatever. It's Mountain Dew. I am celebrating having my one weekly Mountain Dew. Celebrating managing to hit my health goals. Yeah, I think the chainsword's just the way to go. We're just gonna put that sucker on here. Alright, so we still want her to have that same angle, I think. Because I think that angle really sells part of what she's doing, so. Which is kind of difficult because that angle comes almost entirely from the hand. Not one I've ever had. Well, you don't need to. It's carbonated battery acid and sugar. Dr. Pepper. Yeah, I mean, I go by soda on the internet, but I really did cut down on the soda so I wouldn't get soda-induced diabetes. I can't spend my money on insulin. I need to spend it on Warhammer. I cannot drink the zero drinks. I do not like them. I will drink diet over zero. Okay, so let's blue tack this on before we stick it on. Because I have a feeling this thing's going to be too darn big. The other problem is that her arm comes up at a weird angle, and I'm actually considering sawing it off, and I wonder if I could do that. Found a Dr. Pepper bratwurst at the store? Ew. That sounds terrifying. Was it just, like, soaked in Dr. Pepper, or just, like... Yeah, I'm with Spudgy. What the hell is a Dr. Pepper bratwurst? Okay, I gotta fix the angle of the arm so she's not pointing it up. That came with the kit, but I can fix that. I don't know. I think it kind of works. It's menacing and threatening. But I'm not 100% sold on it. Blue tech is so blue. Well, that's also my camera. Just like really, because, you know, blasting light. Well, knowing us, has probably got some kind of secret forever chemical in there. Okay, this does definitely answer my question. I need to get this arm off, and I need to fix the angle on it. You soak the grinded meat in Dr. Pepper before you encase it. I mean, like, I understand how that works. I don't like that sentence you just said. God, I'm never good at this. Her blue tack is gray. Well, it's not blue tack then, is it? It's poster putty. Oh. Well, that broke one arm off, which is fine. I was going to do that anyway, but I need to get the other one arm off. Not what I wanted to do. But I can fix that. This kit is very old, and you can tell I green stuffed it together. Come on. There we go. Got it. Okay. Forgot you didn't have fur there last time. That's okay. I'll glue that back on. Okay, so. Okay. So what up next? Sorry, I am desperately trying to commit surgery here. There we go. All right, found the connection point. Now I'm gonna glue on that side, glue on that side. All right. During the stream late, how goes bashing kits? Fine. We've picked out our weapons. Because they can, you'll buy it. Same reason so many colors of paint, yeah. They're vegan, but I still think they do too offended. That's fair. Hello, Dexterello. Hello, Daniel Jenny Gross. This is all good work, by the way. Excellent stream so far. Oh, thank you, Daleborn. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love kit bashing, but I wasn't sure if it would be entertaining to watch because my kit bashing is very, okay, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And it's just this, if you were irritated by people being wishy-washy, holy crap, you were probably not going to enjoy this stream. Because, alright, so this axe here, so here's the problem. Chug a Mountain Dew. Chug a mug of mead, chug another mug of mead, chug another mug of mead until you fall down. Here's the problem. The angle is kind of integral to her pose, right? Like, the fact that she's got this axe behind her pointing downwards is what makes it work. If I just have the we'll use this arm as an example. If I just have her out like this, that will function, but it's not the same level of snap, you know, same level of pizzazz, for lack of a better term. So, what we need to do is attach an arm, whatever angle we use. We're probably going to have to, like, manufacture an angle on the hand via clever use of Snippy. And that can be fraught with peril. But we're going to do it. Also, I should probably clean this up before I, like, you know, before I can attach it and make it way harder. So, hold on, let me scrape the mold lines off. Snip, snip, snip. I hate scraping mold lines off of chain swords. It's always the worst in the world. There's all those little bits and bobs in there you gotta get in. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna get in that front there. Is that a... yeah, that's a spur gate. Okay, there we go. I came here to hang out with my fellow mini-mirrors and fun vibes. That's, I mean, oh, that's true, but at the end of the day, you still want something to be a little, like, you know. Okay, so. Can we... because if we just put this hand where this hand was, it won't work. But, ooh, I have a better idea. What if instead we just put the hand around the existing hand? It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. The funniest possible thing then, if I had started cutting, you just hear off screen, crap! So, okay, so I've cut... this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I love it. So I've cut the hand out of the grip. And I am now going to cut the... is this going to work? Oh my god, if this works. I think it will. I think this is going to work, and I'm actually kind of unduly proud of myself for it. Okay, let's clip off a smaller amount, because I can always clip off more. Alright, I forgot that's attached to her sleeve. Well, that's not going to be filed as legally non-destructive. It's going to work. Yeah, this is going to work. Look at that. Whoop. Oh, I got to cut more off. All right. Get. There we go. And, you know, green stuff can hide a lot of sins. And then we just slide that in there. Oh yeah. Looks like we need to cut even just a little bit more off. Just a little bit more. There we go. Ace Ventura, like a glove, dot wave. Look at that. Now, I'm going to put her arm back on before I put this on, because I want to make sure the angle of the sword is what I want it to be. So. Now, the real easy way to do this probably would have just been buy a new vampire kit. And she's only like, well, I mean, you know, only $30 or whatever, so. Would not have even been breaking the bank. I bought more expensive things for dumber kit bashing projects. So, we're going to get that on there and let that dry a little bit. While that side is drying, let's go back to our this hand. So what we need to do here is, the problem is that in the original kit, she doesn't have anything in her left hand. She's just pointing towards the heavens, you know. Oh, you know, it's funny that Spudgy was bringing up the Night Sisters, or the Night Witches, because I've got, if you recognize this mini, this is the, I can never pronounce her name, or no, rather, I can't remember her name. This is the very famous World War II Soviet sniper. From Bad Squiddo Miniatures, who does a lot of really cool historical women miniatures. And they also do the War Pigs, which are guinea pigs suited up for battle, and the Battle Rabbits, which you can probably imagine what they are. Anyway, so What was the setup that produced the massive X on your coming mat? Oh, that X is the where the camera is. This is X is put the minis here, dummy. Because this means that they're on camera. That's what my X is. It's the that X is purely a staging mark. What's the one Orson Welles skit with John Candy? I'm on my mark. Move your camera. XA butter. Ludmilla, yes. Ludmilla Pavlychek? Pavlychek. I cannot. And so here's this. This is Pavlychenko. There we go. Pavlychenko, I remember. This is an interesting thing because I don't know if the way you're typing it is the way that in the English it was anglicized, so that's probably what I've read is the more anglicized version. However, yours is probably almost undoubtedly more correct. We have a tendency to butcher the heck out of, like, I've seen people just like, I've seen people, so like Tchaikovsky. Tchaikovsky is, Pitorovich Tchaikovsky, which, yes, Pitor is the Slavic version of Peter, which is differently pronounced. That's a Hebrew word. Peter turns into Peter in English and Piotr but his name was not Peter Tchaikovsky, right? He wasn't good old P.D. Tchaikovsky. His name was Pitorovich Tchaikovsky. That's his name. And I always get really mad. You can tell I was a music major type thing. I get really angry when people take composer names and turn them into English when it's like, no. No. Although it's not like they try and make Tchaikovsky English. They still call him Tchaikovsky, but it's like, oh no, we got to call him Pitorovich, Peter. It's like, no. It's always the first names. Anyway. I'll get off my soapbox. She was Ukrainian? I don't think she was Ukrainian, but I don't know. Well, okay, I don't think she specifically was Ukrainian, but whether she had Ukrainian ancestry, I definitely don't know. You know how empires work. People get moved around and... Yeah, I mean, you try your best. It really bugs me when it's, like, people in the arts, though, because, like, I don't know, it feels a little malicious. Where, like, it feels like if you're trying to call this man Peter Tchaikovsky and not Piotr Tchaikovsky, it's like you're kind of erasing what made him who he was. Because the fact that he was a Russian composer, it matters. It matters a lot for his life, his history, the music he wrote. Alright, so this is going to be kind of annoying. Especially in the modern day. Ask your grand to save the day, it finishes your base when you can't. Yeah, I am really not against the texture paints. I know some people really don't like using texture paints, and they're like, oh, it feels lazy. I heavily disagree. Yeah, west washing, although, I mean, to be fair, if you're talking about the context of Tchaikovsky and like literal west washing, that is an entire thing about his life and career and the people surrounding him. That was an accusation given to him at the time by some of his fellow Russian composers, was that he was not being a Russian man. He was trying too hard to be French. There's a lot of fascinating history there. And it's like, why is Marche Slav, which is, Slavic March, it's just, March is the name of it, but it's always called Marche Slav. Why? Well, some interesting stuff there. I'm sure, people like Mussorgsky or Rimsky-Korsakov had a lot to say about it. But I'll leave that to people far more versed in those things than me to argue about. All I know is that the man's name is... Also, Pitorovich is a way cooler name than Peter. No offense to Peter. Never try too hard to be French. Never a good move. Yeah... I mean, yeah, Dvorak is a famously... Antonin and I've seen... I mean, now this one is probably more of a... It's just Americans being stupid. I've seen people write Antonio Dvorak. It's like, no. Or just Anton. Which is like, no. The man's name is Antonin Dvorak. I'm pronouncing Dvorak right. right? Because if I found out right now that I've been doing that wrong, I'm going to be very annoyed at myself. Anyway, soapbox away. So here we go. We fixed that on there. I need to really let all this dry, so I think we're going to have to do something else while I wait for that to dry, because that is going to be really fragile. But anyway, we can kind of see where I'm going with this, which is now she'll be pointing her gun out straight instead of up. I'm going to blow my nose again. All right. What is that? I mean, now I'm going to look up how that sounded. I could probably make it if I tried enough. Maybe. Maybe. Says man who barely speaks English. I don't speak one language right. What the heck am I doing? Anyway, so let's talk about the other guys here. Let's talk about the other guys I've got kitbashed and how we can Necromunda them up. 1 second, I'm going to get the other guys out of this group. Who else have I gotten here? So, I've got Jack Skellington. He's not in Necromunda, I'm just showing him off. Remember her? I'm not going to Necromundize her. Maybe I should Necromundize her. Like, right? Like, what else am I going to use her for? Here's an Inquisitor. This guy's resin. I'm not chopping him up. A lot of these I don't want to mess with because they're... Like, here's the actual Rogue Trader from the second round of Blackstone Fortress. I don't want to mess with these because you can't get them anymore. I don't know where she's from. She's metal. Look at that metal in there. Look at the magnet I had to use to get her to not run around. I feel like I could... Like, she's obviously, like, it's supposed to be kind of like an Ethernaut. You think I could use this for Necromunda? I think I could paint her up in a way that would be matching. Oh, look at this guy. It's one of the very first models I ever finished painting from the Blackstone Fortress kit, UR025. He can just go right in here as a Man of Iron, right? This guy I specifically painted speed paint, which is why some of his stuff doesn't look really good. But you know what? He came out pretty darn good for what he is. I'm kind of happy with him. And I'm going to keep him there just because he's nostalgia, right? Like, and this is now available again, but for a long time, this was a mini you couldn't buy. The Ambol, Blackstone Fortress. Adamor Cloaks, she's a dangerous ash waste nomad with those birds they got. I think they could do with it being a bit further from camera. Struggling. Yeah, sorry. Hold on. Whoop. There we go. There we go. So I've got the Ambol here. Got the Rogue Trader. Not doing anything with her. She's rare. I don't know if she's even available anymore. Oh, here's one. Pious Vorn. I painted her up because she was usable in Kill Team as a hero in the Imperial Guard, and she's really good at melee, which is something that no Imperial Guard models are. I don't know what this little guy's from. Oh, he's from the Biophagus kit, isn't he? Look at him. He's a little potion man. Homunculus. Ah, wow. This is my Rogue Trader Kill Team kit. These guys are in rough shape. Look at that guy. Here's what he should look like. You can tell I stripped these at some point. Yeah, these were some of the very first models I ever built for Kill Team. Shadowbroker from Mass Effect. Yeah, what is it, the UVOG? Can't remember what they're called. You only see one of them is in that. No, you see a second one, Mass Effect 3, I forgot. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with these guys for now. I have two of these guys, so we should... Like, this guy... I've got two of him, so I don't need this one, right? So I should do something with him. I'm going to put a pin on him for later. The other ones I've only got one set of, and I don't really want to mess with them. Gene Stealers, yeah, Psychic familiar. Judgment, I don't know what you mean there, sorry. Alright, anyway. So this guy, I think, doesn't need to be changed anymore. I don't think I'm going to make him... Because there's no way you can have a lizard guy in Venators. So, he would just be an alien. She is just going to get painted as she is. I'm not going to convert her anymore. A, resin model. B, I just love this mini. That's what... Put it on camera, Josh. I just love this mini, and that's why I like it. You're going to kitbash him with Safety Pin Coon? No, but I do need to put some eyes on Safety Pin Coon. This guy, like... This is so dumb. Oh, I want to paint him, but he's not going to make his way into Necromunda. What about this guy, though? Could you build... I mean, he's obviously an abominable intelligence. But you could say he's a servitor guy. Right? Am I going too far with that? I mean, first off, I should say, do whatever the hell you want for Necromunda. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So, I'm not asking for your permission, but I am asking opinions. Cold Trader Retinue? Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't love their rules, but they're not bad. Oh. Just while we're on the subject of kit bash minis, here's one of the other first kit bashes I ever did. I wanted, so back when he's Vansar with too many special mechanics. Yeah, there you go. Back when Kill Team, original edition Kill Team, well, not original, 2016 Kill Team, Imperial Guard could take 8 plasma guns, and that was really the only way you could play them and, like, not suck, so I needed more plasma guns. But buying them off of eBay was impossible because, like, yeah, everyone had the same opinion. So, what I did was I kit bashed my own. I took a Blood Angels plasma gun that I got for super cheap. I put him on a, this is a Genestealer Cultist body, with, of course, a Skaven head and a little rat tail. And this is Brother Radic, or this is Guardsman Radicus. Don't ask where he came from, but he's here to help you. He's got a plasma gun and he's going to shoot the enemies of the Imperium. So you know what? Just leave him alone. Of course, he's painted like Acadian because not very well painted like Acadian, but I need to finish painting him. Anyway, I keep around. I rebased him at some point. I should finish this guy. I mean, I don't play, you know, Kill Team's so different nowadays. He's doesn't have a use for anything. But I mean, he could be a Genestealer. I could repaint him entirely. But yeah, this is Radicus. He was my main plasma guy for a long time. Give me cheese or give me death. I should finish painting him. But yeah, this guy could just be a Vansar. Ooh, I don't know. Doesn't really work as any of the brutes or anything like that. Speaking of brutes, here's another guy I should finish kit bashing. This is Mr. Snake. Mr. Snek. S-N-E-K. He's an outlaw brute. And the only thing I need to do with him is I need to green stuff scales on the gap between his his arms and body. Just fill those in and he'll be ready to go. But I also want to find... That's what I forgot to find. I mean, yeah, Bounty Hunter is always an option, right, Daleborn? Like, you can always have someone be a Bounty Hunter. And there are... yeah, Archaeotech, the alt champion. Yeah, he could just be an Archaeotech that is so... that is the famous Mr. Snake who ate everybody. Yes, he is absolutely terrifying. He came up... I mean, that brute... The outlaw brutes are really, really good. Just in general. They feel like a consolation prize for having to play outlaws, for when you play outlaws and can't do a lot of the other things. Because those outlaw brutes are efficient, credits-wise. No, what I want to find is, do I have anything I could use as a collar? Because Mr. Snick wearing a collar, like a dog collar, would be really funny. It's an area of the Necromunda that is not explored very much. Dog collar. Who would have a dog collar? Ooh, 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 ooh. Eh. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Perfect. Because I get one of these collars on him. Does the dual purpose of saying that he's under control and also hides that gap. Look at that. It's like it was made for what I'm doing with it. Aw, come on. Look at that. Well, okay. Let's clean this up and get it on him. Oh god, this is going to be a massive pain to clean up, isn't it? Sure is. Snip. Let's put the spur gates on, like, the parts where you can see, said some maniac at Games Workshop. I agree, said the other maniac. One video saw said to use cloth wraps as such was. Use masking tape with PVA glue. That comes together sick, though. Yeah, I've seen that. I need to try it on something that I'm not that I'm not super attached to, and I am very... Mr. Snake, I actually... Like, I haven't touched him for a while because I'm so attached to him that I'm afraid to work on him, which is a problem. You shouldn't do that. Because, you know, because he is a kitbash, and I could make another one, but it would not be easy. But I just need to get over it. Don't know why I'm worried about carving the mold blinds off the bottom, considering no one could see that, but... Alright. I think that being GSC also helps alleviate the issues of being outlaw. I mean, yeah. Outcasts in GSC, and to a lesser extent, Helots, have a slightly better. So long as Mr. Snick with a some beast with collar, please don't combine him with in the same game with his Felinid with a whip. Too many questions. The Felinid will not have a whip for that reason. Oops. Is that supposed to have a spike on both sides? No, it's not. Why did I just drop? Baloney. Well, whatever it was, hopefully it wasn't important. I'm going to snip off the snake. I've had an excellent stream for my lunch break. Catch you later. Well, thank you for coming, Daleborn. I appreciate it. Yeah, snip off that collar. Sorry, I need symmetry, Steinman. Something has to be done about symmetry. This one, too symmetrical. If you make Waylon Smithers spinny, ugh. I mean, if you're an Asher player, the collar's enough for people to discourse his place at Pride tomorrow. Gosh dang it. Oh yeah, happy all the corporations pretend to... I'm not even going to finish the sentence. We'll see what happens with that this year. I mean, Target had their display up. And, you know, as the straightest, most cis man in the universe, I don't really have a lot of room to talk about Pride. I must admit, I've never been to one. Now, in a perfect world, this would sit outside his collar and, you know, like hover above it. But A, this helps block the gap line that I want to block. And B, I can't do that. Okay, well, there we go. That alone just saved me a bunch of work. The only other thing I need to fill in is these right here. And this is going to be a little harder because I can't really just fill the gap. I do need to... Uh-oh, hold on. We're going to pull that off and put it on last because I need to get my sculpting tool in there. Just realized. Rainbow Wash. Licorice Rip? I mean, if you want a Licorice Rip, you got to go play Snack 28 because that's where all the candy stuff is. And you should play Snack 28. I need to finish printing, and I need to get my printer back up again so I can print the new stuff for Snack 28, because now there's like gummy worm mounts in there and stuff like that, and it's awesome looking, and I need to print it out so I can paint it, but my printer's been down, and I've been too flippin' lazy to do it. I'll get there. All right, where did I put my green stuff? Found it. Got half an hour left. Now, what I should be doing is finding a different source of green stuff, because, you know, or a different source of modeling putty, because green stuff is functionally going the way of the dodo, which is, you know, destroyed by humanity for no good reason. I'm going to put that by her, so I don't lose it. How are you doing? You're not drying weird, are you? Good. Alright, let's... I don't like the green stuff strips at all, because, like, they tend to cure in the middle. You just gotta get the 2 tubes, but green stuff being kind of dead now, I can't get those, because as soon as somebody else found out before me, they bought everything, so. Unfortunately, all I can do is get basically what the Army Painter has at our local store. Which is really not ideal. And then what you can do is kind of cut off where it meets in the middle, right there, and right there, because that's the part that's cured, so. Shame. Guess I'll squish this together on camera so the camera's at least motion moving. Here, let me zoom out so there's more motion. Oh, come on. Oh my god. The fact there's only a button on the screen to do this and not something else is annoying. Alright, I've been too cowardly to do this for a long time, so hopefully you guys being here on stream will encourage me to actually get it done. In theory, this shouldn't be that hard. The editor's note, in theory. Got metal tools to get it done. Got water here. I've got my sculpting tools. I've got everything I need. Again, in theory. Demand to be issued a Stream Deck. Had one for a while. I never used it. Could probably ask for it back, but then I had to figure out how to use it. Yeah, I had an yeah, what are they called? I think I sent you a picture at one point, and this was ages ago, and I would be shocked if you remembered. It's like, what, the ATEM Mini? Because I was like, yeah, I'm going to do more stuff at home now, and then I just never followed through on it, like a lot of things. Good evening from sunny Scotland. I wish that was as sarcastic as most of the year. Very sorry, Valhalla and Malta. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you, Luca, for your support. No, we have a Stream Deck, and Mark would give it to me in a heartbeat. In fact, I will probably ask for it later. Actually, the bigger problem is, I don't have room on my desk right now for a Stream Deck. Like, my desk is full. I would need to figure out how to do that, and I don't currently. Unless I want to drive my butt all the way to the shop to paint, which I don't. Gotta really mix in all this green stuff. There's bits of it already dry, even though I cut out the separated parts. It's really annoying. I don't know if it'll reach Scotland through Valhalla. I don't know. Oh, weather is expected to turn. I don't know how to reach Scotland, though. I was very confused at that. Okay. Yeah, 30 hours of rain in the next 48 hours. Ooh, well, get to high ground, I guess. Which, Scotland is high ground, so. Okay, so step 1 is asking for more space for a bigger desk and asking for a bigger desk and demanding a Stream Deck. If you give a mouse a cookie... The problem, I mean, keep in mind, this space is my space. This is my home. Like, I can't really ask my boss for not my boss. If he was my boss, I could demand him higher wages to pay for a bigger house. But he's not my boss, so it's just the producer, man. So I can't ask him for more money, because that's not really his job. And good luck asking my real job. Valhalla Melta, keep their null flying. Oh, thank you, Valhalla Melta. I appreciate it. 2 pounds. I can lift 2 pounds. Cornwall is also very hilly. Yeah, I forgot about Cornwall. Okay. What's the line about the Scots and environmental concerns? On the one hand, the Scots are a very environmentally conscious people. On the other hand, we'd love nothing more than to sit upon the Highlands and watch the English drown. You had showered yesterday and it's cooled a bit, but it's still baking me alive. Yeah, if it doesn't rain enough to actually lower things... Sorry, I just realized my mic was peaking. If it doesn't rain enough, it just hits that point where it just gets muggy. I live next to a swamp, like Scotland, like a Shrek, so I know muggy very well. Alright, so now we've got our nice and mixed up. We're going to take really tiny amounts of it. Florida's built for the heat. Yeah, UK stuff is just not built for the heat. You need more space to make those streams, so you need more space. And since you're not the producer, it's not your turn to figure out how that happens. Yeah, I'll Mark. You heard the NB, Mark. Give me more space. Finish my... Oh, I have spare bits. Mishmashed Acadian. That's always fun when you just kind of like... It's like making cookies from leftover... Alright, so the amount of stuff I actually need here is really tiny. So we're going to kind of stick that in. Should let you know right now that I am not a professional sculptor or even a particularly good one. Yeah, new meds that don't help with temperature regulation. Yeah, that's not a good combo, is it? So, I can already tell I only need half the stuff I put on here. Couldn't really make the noodle any smaller. Yeah, that sounds miserable. I loved in the UK it's heated floors. Yes! My bathroom has a heated floor. Doesn't come up for very long, but when it does, I'm glad I have it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is get this smoothed down to only fill the gap, because I don't need a lot of it. The wonders of part assembly. Feel like you're doing a public service, yeah. Well, you kind of are. I think the world would be a better place if everyone had a nice constructive hobby. It doesn't have to be this one. Obviously, I'm a fan of this one. But not everyone's going to gel with this one. But, you know, if more people had nice constructive hobbies, we'd see less, what's the term, hobbyless behavior, as someone called it. Okay. I'm going to be very honest with you. I am not even particularly trying to make this good on camera right now, so if it's not, I apologize. So, alright, so we filled the gap. I need to get that line of definition right there. Ah, shit. Language, sorry. Really feathered this out into centerpiece of some spearhead box. Got a bunch of bowmen and cavalry. I don't know, that describes like 14 spearhead boxes at the moment. So I don't know either, unfortunately. Okay. Now. Yeah, dang it. Messed that up. Too much water. Nope, I worked this too much. That's fine. You mark the stream PG-13, you get one swear every hour and a half. Yeah, that's true. It's probably how YouTube operates anyway. YouTube, known bastion of consistently following its rules. Okay, so we've got that line of definition there is what we're really after. Maybe a smaller Something smaller, something rounder. Flying cavalry looked like lizards with humans or elves or something on them. Oh, probably Idneth Deefkin then, because they were like wet elves. Then we need to basically just kind of press some scales into this part right here. Really nothing fancy. And by doing that, we'll help hide the line between the two things. So really this is not hard at all. I'm just like not very good at it. But like the fact that there's overlapping bits there, that's fine. There's already overlapping bits there. So it doesn't matter. All that matters is we follow that line of contour. And then this here I would like to smooth out more if I could. But A, I'm not doing very good at it. And B, if I don't, it's not a disaster. Worst case, I can always come back and put a second layer of green stuff over this part to actually smooth that gap, as long as that gap is filled. Actually, I might have just stumbled into what I wanted there. Yeah, okay, that works. Alright, that's one side done. Let's do the other one. Gundam TCG. I do not. Vaguely, I mean, it's at the game shop that I used to work at, but I have to avoid TCGs in general. Very not my brain. Wet elves is your one swear. I didn't come up with that. I have absorbed through osmosis some knowledge about Magic the Gathering, or Tragic the Garnering, as it's called in Fallout, but besides that, no, I have very little TCG knowledge, and I've got a Magic deck somewhere, again, osmosis, but I can count on one hand the number of times I've actually played. Nothing really against it. Well, okay, maybe nowadays something against it. But on the other hand, I don't really think a Warhammer player gets to talk about that. Like, you know, it's not like Games Workshop wouldn't do blind boxes if they could either. I want to be the record that for once it wasn't me to bring up Gundam in some way. Yes! This may shock you, Daniel, but you are not the only one who likes Gundam. The real question is, have you ever learned to play Caravan? I did once, but I never enjoyed it, and I eventually reached a point where I was like, playing this card game is not worth the caps I'm getting, because you can get enough caps to like break the economy, and that's fine, but it wasn't worth it, and I just was like, oh, whatever. I would rather be playing Fallout New Vegas, not playing card game. You know? Like blackjack in the casinos there I could actually play, because I don't dislike blackjack. I dislike real-life gambling, but, like, you know, blackjack's a game. Caravan, I did not enjoy playing Caravan. It's kind of like playing Pazak in Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is very much just blackjack, of course. Or Quasar in Mass Effect. Remember when Mass Effect 1 had Quasar? And there's this entire thing. In fact, there's an entire little questline around it. This gap on this arm is a little bigger. So once again, to do is press in some scales. I'm not really worried about that. But might need to fill in the get off the there we go. Darn you. Yeah, I need to fill in down here. That's okay. We'll get our little bit of green stuff back. With high luck. Yeah, oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I got the achievement by that, by, you know, you get your luck to 9, and then you wear the shades that give you extra luck or something like that, and then you just walk in and just hit the button until you, and the universe will bend itself over backwards to make you win at the casinos when you have 9 or 10 luck. Twin gun cannons, there you go. Yeah, not fun enough. Yeah, I never said I liked Gundam. That's fair. You do. Maybe not the Gundam trading card game. Okay. You'll usually clear them out with a 6 or low, not got enough patience. That's absolutely true. But again, that reaches the point where it's like, I don't really... That's not why I'm playing New Vegas at that moment. I'm playing New Vegas to have a Spurs that jingle, 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 and a big iron on my hip, and, you know. So, I would just, like, wait till later in the game. Because, you know, especially at the beginning of the game, you don't really need that many chips or caps anyway. Okay, so got the 2 arms done. Do I want to do his waist? I kind of do, because there is some gap in there. What I really want to do is give him some armor down there. What Gundam War game will drop in $50? Yeah. Hyper dumb specialized builds. Those are always the really fun part of New Vegas, yeah. Especially once, like any game, once you've played it for like more than a few times, it's like, okay, how do I make my own fun? And that's how you turn into a streamer or whatever who does really weird, you know, only using fists. And I'm not criticizing that. For people who get super into one game like that, which is why I can't, I fully, absolutely understand why you eventually have to start getting weird with it, because what the heck else are you going to do? While waiting for that to dry, I'm going to put these, I only got about 10 minutes, because I do actually have to record with Mitchell today, unlike the last few times, because, unlike the last few times, there's actually something to talk about for the Sunday Rundown today, which is, you know, new edition of 40K being announced, right? Or, sorry, being announced to come out. Oops. Gonna put all these Enforcer bits away. I too in the work of Gas Sophisti. Yeah, exactly. One punch grand. I mean, I hear Fallout 76 is way more of an actual game that is fun to play nowadays. For me, the online only component, like, I did try playing it, but just my internet's very weird. It doesn't do very well with online games because of, like, the ups and downs of it, and for some reason, just the micro lag and stuttering on 76 made it not possible for me to play. Which, because I would probably, at this point, play it and enjoy it. And just have fun, you know, dicking around in it or whatever, which is what Fallout is. I'm going to find a waistband of armor for him at some point. Because, yeah, it has, you know, it took him a while, but it has content and, like, isn't just, you know, at launch it just kind of was a little rough. And by a little rough, I mean, like, what the heck, Bethesda? Hey, there's a lot more content than Starfield. Hey-o. Okay, now we're going to put his collar on. And we'll put some goo here to make sure it sticks. Plastic cement is one of those things where it does work a little better if you put it on both sides. There we go. Now that sells the idea of... Want to see the Felinid? Oh, you haven't seen the Felinid. Here she is. I don't know if I'd call her cute. Boop, boop. Zoom in. There we go. We're about to attach her gun. Well, first let's attach her awesome-looking chainsword. Yeah, I was worried about this. Her tail's going to be in the way a little. We're going to get a little creative. That's fine. We can get a little creative. I mean, I could also just move her tail. That's not hard. All right. Dab on one side. In fact, I'm just going to pop her tail off and put it back on later. Yeah. Boop. Okay. Because there is also, I want to put a backpack on her as well. Boop. Dab on the other. And then this gets dabbed on both sides as well. I'll kind of slop it in there. The Ogre and Bolgren armor plates, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that is actually an option, right? Like, I do have those. Well, you know, I figure it's a sump beast, so, he's only going to have what his gang was able to find and, like, glue to him, right? Like, he's not going to have custom-fitted stuff. I am unduly happy with how much this right here is working, by the way. Like, I would never expected this to work as well as it does. But, like, look at that. Look at that. I am really happy that that works. Unfortunately, our group of four kind of class one of us were just consistently shut on to be around and playing Game of Thrones. Like, yeah, and like, we joked about this in the last stream that, like, the social contract is a huge part of wargaming, but wargamer makers would love to work out of the game because they want nothing more than you to be able to play every game with every person, but you can't. And Necromunda is a game where the social contract is unavoidable. But I do hope your new group comes through. Our current Necromunda group is because the other existing one at the game store did not work. Excellent sword pose. Now, that pose is just the pose that the original mini had. I should say. I did not come up with that. The base mini is, what's her name? She is one of the Soulblight Gravelord vampires. Not the really long... She's the Soulblight Gravelord vampire that is one of the, I mean, for lack of a better term, one of the Russian-named ones, the wolf ones. She has the axe and she's just pointing. Named hero character. I cannot remember her name right now. Also, the idea for this, I did not come up with. I no longer have the artist's name because they were on Twitter, and when Twitter, I abandoned it, I just lost everything. But it was this person who did these really cool, like, mock-ups. Art, not mock-ups. They did actual art of drawing these things. I gotta figure it out. I'll post it in the Discord when I find it, because I really need to credit that person. But they came up with the idea of using this head on this body to make a Felinid. Now, I did come up with the, you know, the weapons and stuff was my idea, but They did the initial... Okay, we're going to have to pare down. So let's get the last thing we'll do, because I need to think about this part off stream a little bit, mostly because we're really out of time and I want to not be late for Mitchell today. But the question I leave you with is that gun too unwieldy? Is that too big for her? I know the connection point's too big. I can file that down. That's not hard. But is the gun itself too weird? Because I can change it for something a lot smaller. In the case of the arc pistol, or even our good old Mauser here. Like, that's not sci-fi, but hey, I can also sci-fi up the Mauser. Like, imagine this Mauser with this arc part right there, right? Or I could take the Mauser and I could take the the magazine. Actually, you know what? Last thing we're gonna do. Oh, Dig Lucy thinks it looked good. Okay, well, I'm gonna think on it. And that's the nice thing is, even if I plastic glue it, I can always cut it off and try again. The massive sword balances it out. Yes, I think what we've hit upon is we've just hit upon that it is very Warhammer-ish, where the guns are big. So I'll leave it there. I'm not going to glue it on right now because I need to file down these things to fit. I think like a Krieg Mauser lass. Well, what I'm going to do right now, just because it's funny, is I'm going to take the extended magazine. I know the Mauser would work better. That's the thing is I also just like... Okay, wait, hold on. What about that, though? That's really good, right? Heroic scale gun. I'm going to think about it. If I took something from a las gun and put it on the tip of that, like this las pistol, I think I could cobble together a gun that looked really cool. Or... drum mag on the Mauser. Just to really deal psychic damage to everyone involved. But, unfortunately, that is... could do with a wire buttstock. That is the problem, is that this just doesn't have a stock and it looks too weird. But if I had the drum mag... I'm going to think about this. The Felinid is from... Now, I will say, you can't see it here. I did a lot of work to sculpt additional fur around the collar to make the head fit. But it's the head of her. It's this little cat head. That's where the cat came from. Which, again, was the idea of the person who came up with that kit bash, not me. But I did fur it up, and I'm going to have to refur here to make it fit. But I'll have to do that later. And we are out of time for today, because I got to go see a man about a recording. So thank you all so much for joining. I will keep you posted updates on the Discord with how this goes, because I'm going to keep working on it. And then I'm going to paint her later. We'll probably paint her on stream next time, huh? Once again, if you're, for some reason you're not in the Discord, check it out below. It's free and all that good stuff. We've got a lot of 11th edition content coming up, of course, but we have something... Necromunda is not on the back burner. In fact, far from it. We have the biggest project we've ever done for Necromunda is coming very soon. So keep that in... keep your eyes to the skies. Thank you all so much. Have a great time of day. Stay safe out there. Be kind to each other and people you don't know. And paint something if you have